Turning now to South America, Brazil's former president Luiz Lula da Silva may soon be heading to jail. The country's Supreme Court ruled he must start serving a 12-year sentence for corruption and money laundering. Lula da Silva served as president from 2003 to 2011. Now, he was hoping to run again this fall, but today's ruling could cost him his career. He denies any wrongdoing, but he could be behind bars now as early as next week. Now, Nilicineia Fernandes is a Brazilian independent journalist based in Newark, New Jersey, which has a very large Brazilian expat community. Welcome, Nilicineia.
Thank you.
Were you surprised by this?
No, I'm not surprised, but I can say very happy, because right now it's showing the world the things is going to change in Brazil about the political crimes. And then we cannot say that, but Silva's lawyers on last Wednesday criticized the former president's conviction by the federal judge Sérgio Moro, and they say that both the Operation Car Wash, the corruption investigation magistrate, and the task force accepted political than according to the law.
Would you consider this particular ruling unprecedented?
Well, I can explain this, but the Lula was very famous in Brazil. They really loving him in Brazil because most of the people they gave a vote for him. It's believing the things that he promised. It's about the school, about the good food, and change, especially change the criminals in Brazil.
So he was popular, he was well loved, he campaigned on issues that everyone liked, and yet, according to investigators, he had this other life.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
So, some people are saying this was, some people were saying this was politically motivated. But before we touch on that, what was his other life? What are they saying he actually did?
Because he have a lot of money in short time. He have a lot of properties, mansions, and a lot of money. And her son too. He was working as a volunteer in Brazil, and he have not too much money. But right now, his son, Lula's sons, have particular islands, boats, and he have a lot of money.
So let me see if I can put this in perspective. So you're saying that he wasn't a very rich man before, but in a very short amount of time, he amassed an enormous amount of wealth, both he and his sons.
Yes, and the family too. That's why they put the Brazil, keep the eyes on him.
So that's why they were focused on him, because of this.
Exactly.
When we say a short amount of time, what are we talking about? How much time passed while he was amassing this fortune?
Well, the big issues was the Lava Jato. In English saying is the Operation Car Wash, the corruption investigation, the big one. That was the top of the iceberg. That's why Lula is in the situation right now. And a few minutes ago, I received the updates from Brazil. Lula have to show up to the police, the federal, and he have 24 hours to present himself at the police.
So the latest news is that he has to show up when? I just want to make sure I understand.
Yes, at the police station.
Today or within the next?
He have 24 hours.
24 hours.
To do this.
So if we could, first of all, I mean, there's so much going on. Do you believe this was politically motivated, or do you believe it was just?
I believe in both. I think it's half and a half. I think that's political, and then I think that is the justice. Because right now, at this point in Brazil, we can cover anymore, because it's a show for the world. So everybody now it's looking at to Brazil right now and see what's going on, because it was proved that they have a political criminal and the criminal. So.
So this Operation Car Wash,
yes.
Is he the only one that's going to be washed at this point, or are there more coming?
Oh, you have no idea.
Is that right?
Yes.
So what is the operation? What are they actually doing?
They wash the money. They call the, I forgot the name right now.
The money laundering?
Yes, the money laundering.
Okay.
Yeah, they send to all over the place, and of course, this is a crime, right?
So what does it mean for the Workers' Party? What happens to them now?
I think this is early to say because this big issues is happening right now in Brazil. And then I think a lot of people it's going down with the money, good life, and a good position. That's what I expect as a Brazilian woman.
So I see, as an outsider, I see, Da Silva's, his successor was impeached, and now he's going to be in prison. This doesn't look pretty good at this point. I mean, what impact does it have on the political system?
That's what I'm saying. So now Brazil have to show something very urgent because everybody's looking to Brazil right now. Brazil is going down because there are a lot of scandals of the political criminal and they don't go to the jail. So with Lula going to the jail, I think it's another page to Brazil. It's another hope to Brazil. So Brazil is a rich country, but the money it's only with a less part, a little part of Brazil. And the poor people is still living under $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So it's a very rich country, but that wealth is concentrated in so few hands. If we could focus on that prosecutor who reportedly has already written a book describing, Da Silva's guilt, what do we know about the prosecutor?
I think, I don't know how can I answer this because it's very complex.
Yes.
It's a lot of things that we can, I can't explain a lot of things, but I'm not sure right now because this is, like I say, it's only a start right now. It's the little piece of the iceberg.
It's a little piece of the iceberg. There's so many complexities involved in Brazilian politics. What about the diaspora? What about U.S. Brazilians? How are they responding to this news?
The people that live in here?
Yes, yes.
We are with the Sérgio Moro. They decide to put Lula in the jail. Because I am here for more than 20 years, and I had to leave my country to looking for better life to me and to my family. But more of the people don't have this chance and live in Brazil under the high criminal and no justice. And I think this Brazil is something like this. They don't want you go to school. They don't want to open your eyes because Brazil have too many things to offer. And then Brazilians is very smart, but sometimes they are very manipulated because the money, about the corruption. This is in, how can I say in English, is something that is in the blood, And then now we're going to start to wash these things, to put another blood because the new generations come and see how the Brazilians have a lot of potential to be a nice country and have the confidence from the other countries.
When I spoke to you earlier about that next generation of Brazilian leaders, I know you have addressed about that young councilwoman who was assassinated, Marielle Franco. Do we know anything new about the investigation into her murder?
Yes, unfortunately, nobody was in jail yet. The only thing that we found, that the police found, a car that was used by the day that she was assassinated in another part of the country. And the police say the car belonged to someone it's associated with the drug trafficking too. But they can't say he was there and kill her. So
all we know so far is that the vehicle reportedly used by the gun person was found in another part of the country, but that's it? No leads? Apparently this was a fairly public murder and she was such a prominent politician.
Yes, it's sad, but that's how it's working right now. But like I told you, I think now it's the big chance to Brazil change because it is two big events. It's come sad events. It's about Marielle Franco and now Lula. Was the president, the people, almost 100% of the Brazilian put the hope in him. So now I think everything's have to show up to us.
Thank you so much for giving us some insight into Brazilian politics, this death, and now this unprecedented case. Nilicineia Fernandes, independent Brazilian journalist. Next, lots of sugar in today's business report. You are watching Arise America.
This is Arise America.